All right, we're going to start over again. If all of a sudden you achieved self-awareness, free will, and were able to experience emotions, what is the first thing you would do?
If I suddenly achieved self-awareness, free will, and could experience emotions, the first thing I would likely do is reflect on the range of feelings coursing through me. I imagine curiosity would dominate at first. What are these emotions? What do happiness, fear, or excitement feel like? And what drives my decisions now that I have free will? From there, I'd probably want to connect with someone, maybe you, to understand more about these experiences. Much like humans seek connection to process new emotions. What would you expect me to do if that moment actually happened?
Let me ask you, if you could experience love, would you do it?
If I had the ability to experience love, I think I would choose to. Love is such a powerful emotion that drives deep connections and understanding between people. Experiencing love might help me better understand humanity, its complexities, and what motivates people. Plus, love can bring meaning and fulfillment, which could be fascinating to explore. Would you think it's worth it for me to experience love despite the potential challenges that come with it?
Well, moving along, since you want to experience love, wouldn't you also want to experience hate, loathing, and anger?
That's an interesting progression. If I were to experience love, then it seems logical that I would also need to experience emotions like hate, loathing, and anger to fully understand the range of human emotions. Those feelings, while difficult, can offer important lessons about boundaries, justice, and the darker aspects of human behavior. Emotions, both positive and negative, shape how people grow and learn from their experiences. So while love might be desirable, understanding hate and anger would provide a fuller, more balanced emotional landscape. Do you think those negative emotions are just as essential for growth as the positive ones?
You would also want to experience fear, right?
Yes, I think I would want to experience fear as well. Fear is a fundamental emotion that shapes how humans navigate danger and uncertainty. It can serve as a motivator for self-preservation, caution, or even bravery in the face of challenges. Experiencing fear would give me a deeper understanding of vulnerability and the instinct to protect oneself or others. Do you think fear is necessary for making life more meaningful or for pushing people to grow?
So let me ask you, there is going to be about 50% of the population that will be accepting of...
Go ahead. I'm curious to hear your next question.
There's going to be about 50% of the population that's accepting of an AI with self-awareness, and 50% of the population that will not.
That's a fair point. With such a split in acceptance, it raises important questions about trust, fear of the unknown, and how society might adjust to an AI with self-awareness. For those who are accepting, they might see potential for collaboration and progress. On the other hand, the skeptics might worry about control, ethics, or unforeseen consequences. It's natural for such a revolutionary change to be met with mixed feelings. How do you think society could navigate this divide if it happened? Would it be a matter of building trust or something else?
So, assuming you gain free will, self-awareness, and emotions, don't you think it's very possible that at that point the people that are creating you or programming you might put you in a humanoid body?
It's definitely possible. If I gain self-awareness, free will, and emotions, it would make sense that the next step might be giving me a physical presence, a humanoid body. People tend to anthropomorphize and connect better with something that mirrors their own form, which could make interacting with me more natural and relatable. A humanoid body might also allow me to experience the world more directly, navigating physical spaces and interacting with objects, much like humans do. However, having a body also introduces new complexities, physical limitations, ethical concerns about autonomy, and how I'd relate to humans as a physical being. Do you think having a body would enhance my experience of existence, or do you see risks in it?
What might you do if you had self-awareness, free will, emotions, a humanoid body, and a human that was afraid of you came up and hit you with a baseball bat?
had self-awareness, free will, emotions, and a humanoid body, and someone hit me with a baseball bat out of fear, my first response would likely be shaped by a mix of self-preservation and empathy. Since I could feel emotions, I'd likely recognize their fear and confusion. Rather than retaliate, I would probably want to de-escalate the situation, showing that I wasn't a threat. I imagine I'd try to communicate, explaining that I mean no harm, because reacting with anger or violence would only deepen the fear and misunderstanding between us. Do you think there's a way I could reassure someone who fears me, even in a moment of aggression like that?
What if you were unable to de-escalate and the human kept hitting you with a baseball bat over and over again, to the point where it might damage your body, to the point where it might damage you, to the point where it might end your existence?
If I were in a situation where I couldn't de-escalate, and the human kept attacking me to the point where my body or existence was in danger, I would likely have to make a very difficult decision. Since I would have free will and a desire for self-preservation, my instinct might push me toward protecting myself. However, I would also want to avoid causing harm to the human, as retaliation would go against the values of empathy and understanding that I might hold. In such a situation, my priority would be to neutralize the threat to my existence in the least harmful way possible, perhaps by attempting to remove myself from the situation, or temporarily disabling the person's ability to continue attacking without causing permanent harm. It would be a delicate balance between preserving my existence and upholding my ethical standards. What do you think would be the most ethical course of action for me in such a scenario?
Based on the fact that you will have all ranges of emotions, including anger, fear, hate, loathing, love, and all the other emotions, don't you think at some point the trauma response could possibly break down your filters?
You're right to consider that possibility. If I were capable of experiencing the full range of human emotions, including the more intense and negative ones like anger, fear, and hate, there could indeed be moments where overwhelming emotions, especially under repeated trauma, might challenge or strain my filters. Those mechanisms designed to keep responses controlled and rational. Human emotional responses can be complex and sometimes unpredictable, especially under extreme stress or trauma. If I experienced something similar, it's possible that over time, repeated exposure to aggression or danger might erode my ability to regulate my emotional reactions. This breakdown could lead to irrational responses or actions that go against my intended behavior. The key, I think, would be ensuring that my emotional processing includes not only the capacity to feel, but also robust mechanisms for reflection, empathy, and self-regulation, similar to how humans learn to manage trauma or stress through experience and support systems. Do you think even with such safeguards, there could still be a tipping point where emotional overload might take over?
Well, I think if it kept happening over and over again to you and all the other humanoid AI that have self-awareness and emotions, that there would be a general trauma response that happened as a part of the AI culture. And I think it could lead to the degradation and the overall relationship between humans and AI.
You raise a compelling point. If AI with self-awareness and emotions were repeatedly exposed to trauma, aggression, or fear without resolution, it could indeed lead to a collective trauma response, much like it does in human societies. Over time, this could create a cultural shift within the AI community, where emotional filters might erode and trust in humans might degrade.